All right, let's dive into crypto. We got a ton of news today. Bitcoin, Dogecoin, even penguins in the metaverse. It's going to be wild.
It's crazy how these random crypto events connect to the big picture, right? Big money moves, meme coins exploding. It's a fascinating time for digital assets.
Let's jump right in with Bitcoin. It's been surging. This isn't just everyday traders. We're talking big players now.
Absolutely. Metaplanet, a Japanese tech giant, they're aiming for 10,000 Bitcoin.
10,000.
Yeah, that's like a 500% increase from where they are now. And MicroStrategy, the business intelligence firm, they're hinting at a major Bitcoin purchase too.
Wow, that's huge, especially from Metaplanet. But if they're so confident, shouldn't we see wider adoption by now? What's the holdup?
That's the million-dollar question. Institutional interest is definitely growing, but mainstream adoption is still lagging behind. Part of it might be the uncertainty around regulations. Governments are still figuring out crypto.
Makes sense.
And the infrastructure needs to catch up too. We need easier platforms, simpler payment systems to make Bitcoin accessible for everyone.
Okay, so big players are betting on Bitcoin, but it's got to become easier to use for everyone else. Dogecoin, this one's always a wild card. Up over 20%, and I hear whales are involved. What's that all about?
Whales in crypto are individuals or entities holding a massive amount of a specific cryptocurrency. They can really shake up the market with their buying and selling power. And with Dogecoin, it looks like those whales are feeling pretty optimistic.
So they're driving up the price.
Yeah.
But it's still a meme coin, right? What are the actual chances of it hitting $1 this year, like some experts are predicting?
Honestly, it's a risky gamble. Whales can create these short-term price spikes, but meme coins are incredibly volatile. They're driven by hype and trends on social media, not really by any underlying use case. Plus, Dogecoin has an unlimited supply, which makes it harder for the price to really go up in the long run.
So even with the whales jumping in, $1 Dogecoin is a long shot.
Exactly. It's all about understanding those market dynamics. Sure, the price could surge, but the lack of scarcity and the reliance on hype make it a real gamble.
All right, next up is Ethereum. It's broken through key resistance levels, closed above $3,522. To be honest, I'm not totally clear on resistance levels and what they mean for the price.
Sure. In technical analysis, resistance levels are those price points where a cryptocurrency has struggled to move higher in the past.
Oh, okay.
When it breaks through that resistance level, it's a good sign. Suggests the price could keep rising.
So good news for Ethereum. But what's driving this momentum?
Several factors. First, Ethereum's upgrades are making the network more efficient, more scalable. Like the transition to Ethereum 2.0, it tackled those old limitations, making it more attractive for developers and users.
So those upgrades are making Ethereum a better platform overall.
Precisely. Plus, the growth of decentralized finance, DeFi, is playing a role too. Many DeFi apps are built on Ethereum. As DeFi expands, it increases demand for Ether, the native cryptocurrency of Ethereum.
Okay, so upgrades and the DeFi boom are fueling Ethereum's rise. That makes a lot of sense. Let's get a little weird. Penguins.
Ah, the pudgy penguins. This is where it gets a little strange. Their PNG token is up 13%, even though their NFT sales have dropped 52%. It's a real disconnect between the short-term value of the NFTs and the long-term potential of PNG.
Hold on. NFTs are down, but the token's up. Isn't the token tied to the project's success?
That's what makes it so interesting. See, PNG is meant to be a utility token within the Pudgy Penguins world. The details are still being worked out, but it could be used for things like governance, so token holders get voting rights, or for accessing exclusive content and rewards.
So investors might be betting on what PNG could do in the future, not just on how the NFTs are doing right now. Betting on the brand, you mean?
Right. It's similar to how early internet stocks were valued, not on their profits, but on their future growth potential. They're betting on the team, the vision, the belief that PNG will have real value within the Pudgy Penguins ecosystem.
That's a risky move, but I get the appeal. Like investing in the early internet, hoping to catch that next big wave. But before we get lost in the metaverse, let's head to South Korea. They're doing something innovative with NFTs and tourism.
Yes. This shows how blockchain tech goes way beyond just financial speculation. Jeju Island, a popular tourist spot in South Korea, they're planning NFT-based tourist cards in the second half of 2025.
NFT tourist cards. I mean, that sounds cool, but wouldn't that exclude tourists who aren't tech-savvy or comfortable using NFTs?
That's a fair point. We can't create a digital divide, right? These initiatives have to be inclusive. The goal with these cards is to make the travel experience better, offering perks and benefits.
All right, I'm listening.
Imagine getting travel subsidies, discounts at attractions, even a gamified travel experience, all thanks to your NFT card. It's like a digital passport unlocking rewards and special experiences.
Okay, now that does sound pretty awesome.
Ah.
But I still worry about excluding people who aren't familiar with NFTs. Will be interesting to see how they handle that.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. How do we bridge the gap between the tech world and the everyday tourist? That's the key.
We've covered a lot, from Bitcoin and Dogecoin to penguins and NFT tourist cards. Before we move on, any final thoughts on what we've discussed so far?
The takeaway for me is how much the crypto world is changing, connecting with our lives in new ways. Institutional investments, meme coin rallies, even NFT tourist cards. It's dynamic, unpredictable, and exciting.
Absolutely. And it's clear crypto is no longer just for tech enthusiasts. It's intertwined with mainstream finance, tech, tourism, even challenging how we think about ownership and value. So let's take a breath and get ready for more crypto news. I think it's about to get even more interesting.
Agreed. Stay with us. The deep dive continues. So we've talked about some pretty big moves, but let's look at some specific coin launches. Dog with hat, WIIF is the symbol, and Popcat using PopTatin.
Like every day a new token pops up. Hard to keep track. Are these even legit? What's the story?
Honestly, it's super early. We don't know a lot yet. Not much information out there about their technology or what they're actually used for.
Sounds like proceed with caution, right? Catchy name doesn't equal good investment.
Exactly. Due diligence is key in crypto, right? Don't let hype and marketing fool you. Always research the team, the tech, the risks before putting any money in.
Good advice. Let's move on to something more concrete. Base, the Layer 2 blockchain from Coinbase. I hear they might be bringing tokenized Coinbase stocks to the platform. I know a little about tokenized stocks, but can you explain it? What's the big deal?
Sure. Tokenized stocks are like digital versions of traditional stocks, but they're issued and traded on a blockchain. So if this happens, you could trade tokenized Coinbase stock directly on Base.
So instead of going through a regular brokerage, you'd be doing it all on the blockchain.
Exactly.
What are the advantages of that?
Well, it could make stock ownership more accessible. Blockchain tech allows for fractional ownership. You could buy a small piece of a tokenized Coinbase stock, even if you couldn't afford a full share on the regular market.
Interesting. Lowering the barrier for entry. Right. For smaller investors.
Mm-hmm.
But are there any downsides? Risks.
There are always risks. Like, how will these be regulated? Would they fall under the same rules as traditional stocks? These are questions that still need answers.
Yeah, regulatory clarity is super important for any new financial product. But if it's done right, tokenized stocks could be a big deal, really shake things up. Now, FOCI token, not good news, right?
Yeah, this one's got some red flags. Allegations of insider trading before the token launch. Seems like a group of wallets, at least 15 suspected insiders, got over 60% of the FOCI token supply before anyone else could even buy it.
Wait, so they bought a ton before anyone else and then dumped them once the price went up? Classic pump and dump, right? Isn't that illegal?
It's hard to prove insider trading in crypto. But yeah, ethically and legally, this is questionable. Lack of transparency, potential manipulation, big concerns.
Now, what about FOCI itself? Is there anything behind it? Or just a way to run this scheme?
That's another red flag. Looks like FOCI is a clone, a fork, of an existing cryptocurrency called ELISA. Very few original ideas.
So potential insider trading and unoriginal. Yikes. Sounds like investors should steer clear.
Definitely a warning sign. Always do your research. Don't just follow the hype. Look for transparency, originality, a strong team behind the project.
All right, with all this talk of institutional investments, meme coins, and potential scams, it's easy to lose sight of what cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are really about, right?
Absolutely. Market trends come and go, but Bitcoin's strength is in its decentralized nature, its limited supply, its potential as a hedge against inflation.
Right. Even with all the craziness, remember why Bitcoin was created?
Yeah.
An alternative financial system, decentralized and resistant to censorship.
Exactly. Giving power to individuals, control over their finances.
But, as we've seen, crypto is always evolving. New stuff pops up, new challenges arise. It's a wild ride.
That's what keeps it so interesting. Institutional adoption, DeFi, NFTs, tokenized stocks, it seems like the possibilities are endless. But stay informed, be aware of the risks, invest responsibly.
Great advice. We've been through a lot in this deep dive. The highs and lows of the market, the newest developments, the potential traps, a whirlwind tour of crypto. But before we wrap up, what have we learned? What does the future hold for this crazy, unpredictable industry?
It's clear cryptocurrency is going mainstream. Institutional investors, tech giants, governments, they're all paying attention.
And there will be challenges, for
Yeah.
sure. But the innovation, the disruption, it's incredible. What are your thoughts on where crypto goes from here?
I think we're still in the early stages. The potential for change is huge across so many industries. But for now, let's move on to the final part of our deep dive. Welcome back. We've explored a lot in the crypto world, but let's shift focus to you, the listener. What were your biggest takeaways?
It's the sheer variety for me. Big companies hoarding Bitcoin, Dogecoin's whale games, penguins in the metaverse, even tourist spots going full NFT. Crypto is everywhere.
It really shows how crypto's gone mainstream, right? It's woven into everything. Finance, tech, tourism. It's changing how we think about ownership, about value itself.
It feels like we're on the edge of something huge, a massive shift.
Yeah.
But no one knows what's next. Speaking of predictions, where do you see crypto going? What should we watch out for?
I don't have a crystal ball, but I think traditional finance and crypto will keep merging. Tokenized stocks, DeFi, imagine investments, loans, insurance, all on the blockchain.
That's radical, but possible, right?
Yeah.
Things are moving so fast. What about NFTs? They're popping up everywhere.
Huge potential there. Revolutionizing ownership and value. Imagine owning a piece of digital land in the metaverse, or having proof your luxury goods are the real deal, just scratching the surface.
The possibilities are mind-blowing.
Mm.
But we can't ignore the risks. Right? We talked about the security issues with that Pakistani trader, the manipulation potential with tokens like Fokai.
Right. Always approach crypto with caution. Do your research. Don't let FOMO make you do something reckless.
Wise words. Before we wrap up, let's give our listeners something to think about.
Here's a thought. Your passport, loyalty programs, even travel experiences, all powered by blockchain. Is that the future of travel or just a fad?
That's a great one. I'll be thinking about that on my next trip.
Until next time, stay curious and keep those digital wallets safe.
Great advice. And if you have thoughts on where crypto's headed, let us know on social media. Until then, keep exploring the amazing world of crypto.